Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Gunatira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jayo Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha, Sri Radhe, Jaya Radha. Jaya Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha, Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Sri Radhe. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र से श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की। श्री वृंदावन धाम की। श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की। गंगा मई यमुना मई की। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की। श्री श्री गौरनीताई की जय। श्री श्री राधा वल्लभ की। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रमयी की। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। मेलबर्न महाप्रभु मंदिर की। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Ato Dayat Mudirayet Nasta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikim. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, excuse me, Chapter 18, text number 22. The chapter entitles, The Residents of Jambudvip Offer Prayers. Mat prapyate ojasa sura suradayas Mat prapyate ojasa sura asuradayas Tapyanta ugram tapa indriya dhiya Tapyanta ugram tapa indriya dhiya Rite bhagavat bhavat pada pradayan namam Rite bhavat pada parayananam Bindanti aham tad dhritya atyato jita Bindanti aham tad dhrityatya yato jita Mat prapyate yojasa sura suradayas Tapyanta ugram tapa indriya dhiya Tapyanta ugram tapa indriya dhiya Rite bhavat pada parayananamam Rite bhavat pada parayananmam Bindanti aham tvad dhridaya yato jita Vidyantyaham tvam tvad-dhridyaya yato jita Mat prapyate ojasa suras asuradayas Tapyanta ugram tapa indriya dhiya Rite bhavat pada parayananamam Vindyanti aham tvad-dhridayat yato ajita Word for word. Mat prapyate, to obtain my mercy. Aja, Lord Brahma. Isa, Lord Shiva. Sura, the other demigods, headed by King Indra, Chandra and Varuna. Asura Adaya, as well as the demons. Tapyante, undergo. Ugram, severe. Tapaha, austerity. Aindriya dhiya, those whose minds are absorbed in the thoughts of the superior sense gratification. Rite, unless. Bhavat pada parayanat, one who is wholly and solely engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. Na, not. Mam, me. Vindyanti, obtained. Aham, I. Tvat, in you. Hridaya, whose hearts. Yataha, therefore. Ajita, O unconquerable one. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O Supreme Unconquerable Lord, when they become absorbed in the thoughts of the material enjoyment, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, as well as the other demigods and demons, undergo severe penances and austerities to receive my benediction. But I do not favor anyone, however great he may be, unless he is always engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Because I always keep you within the heart, I cannot favor anyone but a devotee. Translation responsibly. O Supreme Unconquerable Lord, when they become absorbed in thoughts of the material enjoyment, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, as well as the other demigods and demons, undergo severe penances and austerities to receive my benedictions. But I do not favor anyone, however great he may be, unless he is always engaged in the service of the lotus feet. Because I always keep you within my heart, I cannot favor anyone but a devotee. Purport. In this verse, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, clearly states that she does not bestow her favor on any materialistic person. Although sometimes a materialistic person becomes very opulent in the eyes of another materialist, such opulence is bestowed upon him by the goddess of Durga Devi. A material expansion of the goddess of fortune, not by Lakshmi Devi herself. Those who desire material wealth worship Durga Devi with the following mantra: Dhanam Dehi, Rupam Dehi, Rupavati Bharyam Dehi, Bhajam Dehi. O worshipful Mother Durga, please give me wealth, strength, fame, a good wife, and so on. By pleasing Goddess Durga, one can obtain such benefits. But since they are temporary, they result only in Maya Sukhaha, the illusory happiness. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udbhato Bimudhan. Those who work very hard for material benefits are bimudhas, foolish rascals. Because such happiness will not endure. On the other hand, devotees like Prahlad and Dhruva Maharaj achieve extraordinary material opulences. But such opulence were not Maya Sukha. When a devotee acquires unparalleled opulences, they are the direct gift of Goddess of Fortune, who resides in the heart of Narayana. The material opulences a person obtains by offering prayers to Goddess of Durga are temporary. As described in Bhagavad Gita 7.23, Antavanta tu phalam tesam tad bhavati alpamedasam. Men of meager intelligence desire temporary happiness. We have actually seen that one of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to enjoy the property of his spiritual master, and the spiritual master, being merciful towards him, gave him the temporary property, but not the power to preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. That special mercy of the power to preach is given to the devotee who does not want anything material from his spiritual master, but wants only to serve him. The story of the demon Ravana illustrates this point. Although Ravana tried to abduct a goddess of fortune, Sita Devi, from the custody of Lord Ramachandra, he could not possibly do so. The Sita Devi he forcibly took with him was not original Sita Devi, but an expansion of Maya or Durga Devi. As a result, instead of winning the favor of the real goddess of fortune, Ravana and his whole family were vanquished by power of Durga Devi. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka. Om Jnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militan Mena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakham Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karuti Vachalam Pangham Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam So, we are continuing to hear the wonderful prayers offered by the residents of Jambudweep. We heard the prayer. Jambudweep has got 9 verses, so each verse has got a residence, chief residence. These prayers are being offered by these chief residents of each verses. From the Ilavrata we heard who was the chief residence of Ilavrata? Lord Shiva. We heard the wonderful prayers by Lord Shiva too. Lord Sankarshan. Lord Shiva worships Lord Sankarshan in the Ilavrata and we heard the nice, wonderful prayers offered by Lord Shiva. Then we heard the prayers of the Bhadrasva Varsha. Who is the chief residence of Bhadrasva Varsha? Bhadrasrava. Bhadrasrava is the chief residence. And who is he worshipping there? Hayagriva. Lord Hayagriva. The Lord, the incarnations with half the head of horse and the lower part of the body is like human. Hayashirsa also is known by. So we heard the prayers by Hayagriva as well. And next we went to Harivarsha. Harivarsha is, the chief resident of Harivarsha is Prahlad Maharaj. And we heard the beautiful prayers offered by Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsingadev. Now we're hearing the prayers of Lakshmi Devi, and whose residence of which Varsha? Ketumala Varsha. And who's the worshipable Lord? Pradyumna or Kamadev, yes. Lord Vishnu. The expansion of Lord Vishnu is the Pradyumna and Kamadev. I think Adipurush Prabhu nicely explained who's Kamadev. So these prayers are being offered. If we find in Bhagavatam lots and lots, in every canto, almost every chapter, we hear the prayers of the devotees. As Amarendra Prabhu explains, these prayers are not just ordinary prayers. And these devotees who are offering, they are also not ordinary devotees. They are extraordinary devotees. And when they pray, what is coming out from their heart is this is love they have for the Lord in their own mood, and that love is pouring out from their heart. That is the prayers of these great devotees. So, and we will continue to hear the prayers of other verses, such as Rameka Varsha, where the Vaivashvata Manu in the future as we go further. He's worshipping Matsyadev, Lord Matsya. In Hiranmaya Varsha, Aryama, he's worshipping Lord Kurmadev. Uttar Kuru Varsha, where Bhumi Devi is worshipping Lord Barahadev. Kim Purusha Varsha, Lord Hanuman is worshipping Lord Ramachandra. And Bharata Varsha, Narada Muni is worshipping Lord Naranarayan Rishis. So this is where the Jambudvip, and then there's 9 verses. These are the residents of these 9 verses, chief residents. And they're offering their prayers to their worshipable Lord. So in today's verse, Mother Lakshmi is saying she does not favor anyone but a devotee of the Lord. Yes, that's the theme of today's verse. Mother Lakshmi is saying, she says, even Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma and the great demigods come and approach through the great austerities. If the desire is for material enjoyment, she said, nah, it's not me. I do not grant such boons. My boons are purely in the service of the Lord. So what has he said? O Supreme Unconquerable Lord, when they become absorbed in thoughts of material enjoyment, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, as well as other demigods and demons undergo severe penances and austerities to receive my benediction. But I do not favor anyone, however great he may be, unless he is engaged in the service of your lotus feet. She's referring to Lord Pradyumna. Says, unless they are serving, engaged in the service, she favors them. Because I always keep you within my heart. Mother Lakshmi is the devotee of the Lord. And Lakshmi always has got a lordship in her heart. She says, I cannot favor anyone but a devotee. That is, so this is the prayer of today, Mother Lakshmi is saying. And Srila Prabhupada starts the purport. In this verse, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, clearly states that she does not bestow her favor on any materialistic person. Although sometimes materialists become very opulent in the eyes of another materialist, such opulence is bestowed upon by Goddess Durga. And Goddess Durga is expansion of Lakshmi Devi. However, she is in the mode of material realm. Any benediction that is offered by Mother Durga is temporary. It's material, temporary. So what are they? Prabhupada course gives a mantra. What are they? Generally, those who are worshipping for the sense gratification, what are they asking for? Purport? Dhanam Dehi. Yes. Money is sweeter than? What's? Organic. Even organic honey is better. So organic money is better, Arjun Sakha was saying. Even better. Dhanam dehi, rupam dehi. Rupa. Beauty. Give me beauty. What is the desire? Dhanam dehi, rupam dehi. And what is it? Rupavati, bharyam dehi. Wow. So this is generally a prayers of the person who is looking for enjoying the sense gratification. I'm not sure this is I think Prabhupada just made it in a Sanskrit mantra. And Oh worshipful Mother Durga, please give me wealth, strength, fame, and good wife, and so on. This is Prabhupada's purport. By pleasing Goddess Durga, one cannot obtain such a benefit. But since they are temporary, the result only is Maya Sukhaya. Maya Sukha. It's illusory happiness or temporary happiness. Does not last long. And Srila Prabhupada quotes prayers by Prahlad Maharaj in the purport, from 7th Canto, chapter 9, text 43. In this prayer, Prahlad Maharaj is greatly concerned. Why is he concerned? Any thoughts? Noibo dvije para duratyaya vaitaranyas. Tvad virya gayan maha amrita mangala chitta. He says, now this is a concern of Prahlad Maharaj. He said, for me personally, what is my engagement, what I do? Tvad virya. Virya means, oh great Lord. He's referring to Lord Nrsingadev. This is a prayer to Lord Nrsingadev. What did I do? Gayan maha amrita mangala chitta. I am constantly engaged in singing your auspicious glories, Prahlad Maharaj said. Soche tato bimukha chetasa indriyartha. However, he says, socha means I think about them. Who? Those who are bimukha chetasa indriyartha, who are so absorbed in their indriya artha, for the benefit of the senses or sense pleasure. In their heart, they're just asking for a indriya artha, meaning the sense pleasure or material pleasure. Maya sukhaya bharam udvato bimhudan. And what are they looking for, they're asking for is Maya Sukha, as Prabhupada says. Maya Sukha means a happiness that is temporary, illusory, that comes. Bharam udvato bimudhan. And what are the Prahlad Maharaj is giving their title as? Bimudha. What Prabhupada calls them? Translates them? Fools and rascals. I think once Prabhupada gave a heavy lecture somewhere in the I can't recall the exact reference, but he gave same mudha and bimudhas and fools and rascals and ass and camels or whatever. The Bhagavatam is he just quoted that in clear picture, it was a big audience. And when he finished and when he came back, and he asked, I think one of his disciples, and said, was I too heavy? And he said to the disciples, I can say this, but don't imitate this. I'm an old man. Whatever I say, they're not gonna, they're not gonna take it seriously. But, however, just be mindful of the audience. Yeah? If you and I, or any young person or other person who's not in that level, if he goes and just say, "You rascals, you fools, and you cows and asses, animals," or whatever, that's not so. However, here Prahlad Maharaj is getting bimudas. Yeah? Prabhupada translates as, what does it say? Although all of them are nothing but the fools and rascals, I am thinking of them also. This is Prahlad Maharaj thinking of these. He's not concerned. He said, I always engage in your Lord's service. However, and those fools and rascals who do not serve the Lord, instead they are going for gratifications, sense gratifications. They are bimudas. This is the translation. O best of the great personality, this is Prahlad Maharaj praying to Lord Sukadeva. I am not at all afraid of material existence, for however I stay fully absorbed in the thoughts of your glories and activities. Tadvirya gayan maha amrita mangala chitta. My concern is only for those fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintain their families, societies, and countries. I simply concern with love for them. What a compassion! This is a prayer that Prahlad Maharaj is asking. He's not asking for benefit for himself. He's saying, my Lord, I am concerned for them. He's praying on behalf of us. And this is the quality of the great devotees. Seeing the compassion, being compassion to the living entities who are. Srila Prabhupada make his journey all the way from Vrindavan to Boston or New York. What is the reason? It's compassion. Now, in this verse, Prahlad Maharaj, he says what the material enjoyment he refers as a durataya vaitarnyas. The translation, Prabhupada translates the word vaitarnya. Durataya means insurmountable or very difficult to cross. Vaitarnya, of the Vaitarni river, of the material world. That's the translation of that word. Now, I was just curious to know what is Vaitarni river. What is it about? Why is it compared? Vaitarni, the material happiness, enjoyment is compared to as Vaitarnya. Vaitarni is a river in Hellish planet. That river goes around the whole Hellish, the area of the Hellish planet. And I was just looking at the description because we will hear the Hellish description of the Hellish planet in this canto on the 26th chapter. So here is what Vaitarni river. Because in the Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, he compares this material enjoyment as the Vaitarnya. Durataya Vaitarnya is the word he uses. Now this is the definition of the explanation of what is Vaitarni river. This is from the 5th canto, chapter 26, text 22. A person who is born into a responsible family, such as Kshatriya, a member of the royalty, or a government servant, but who neglects this to execute his prescribed duties. Who? Those who are in the position of the government or those who are in the royal family or who's got a responsibility, and they fail to prescribe their duty, or otherwise they neglect or cheat or punish. This is described in them. So, those who neglect to execute his prescribed duties according to the religious principle, according to dharma, and who thus becomes degraded, falls down at the time of death into the river of hell known as Vaitarani. And what happens there? This river, which is moat, the moat means a ditch, or kind of this is, which is a moat surrounding the hellish planet, or hell, is full of ferocious aquatic animals. When a sinful man is thrown into the river Vaitarani, the aquatic animals there immediately begin to eat him. But because of extreme sinful life, he does not leave his body. He constantly remembers his sinful activities and suffers terribly in that river, which is full of stool, urine, pus, blood, hair, nails, bones, marrow, flesh, and fat. Whew. Wow. Very, very, very graphical explanation, huh? And then that, see, in the sloka, Prahlad Maharaj compares the material enjoyment as Vaitaranya, which is almost in every sense is a negative. The description. And let's move on to further on Prabhupada's points. In Prabhupada quotes, two devotees in the purport who have received the benediction or boon of Mother Goddess of Fortune. Who are they in the purport? Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. And Prabhupada says, this is the direct, see the other benefits who are looking for a material opulence, these benefits received from Durga Devi. However, in this Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj, the benedict they have received is the benediction from Mother Lakshmi. So what was the opulence of Prahlad Maharaj? Prahlad Maharaj became a ruler after who? His father. And what is his opulence was? The Hiranyakashipu was the king or the ruler of not just our planet or Bhumandala. In fact, he was ruling all three planetary systems. Middle, upper and lower. Huge in charge. It's even described that just movement of his eyebrows, demigod used to fear. They were so submissive and obeying his orders. That was the power of Hiranyakashipu. And so Prahlad Maharaj received the what? He inherited that kingdom. That kingdom, I think, you can imagine the opulence. You become a king of, or the ruler of, emperor of the all middle, lower and top planetary system. So, and that, Prabhupada says, is the direct benefits, the benediction of Lakshmi Devi. Because what is Prahlad Maharaj doing with that kingdom? He's engaging himself, as we heard in the prayer, in the constant chanting and glorifying the Lord, or in other words, devotional service. And not only himself, he's engaging entire citizens of his kingdom in the service of the Lord. Therefore, Prabhupada says that benediction, that opulence he's received is the direct opulence, the direct benediction of Lakshmi Devi. He also Prabhupada also compares the direct benediction of Dhruva Maharaj as Lakshmi Devi. Would Dhruva Maharaj be... even though Dhruva Maharaj had a material desire before he went for tapasya, before he received he wanted the kingdom greater than Lord Brahma. So what was the opulence of Dhruva Maharaj? Yes, before that, he even ruled the entire Bhumandala. Yeah, he comes in the like Priyabrata Maharaj, same kingdom. Priyabrata Maharaj was the ruler of the all 7 islands, Saptadvipa, or Bhumandala, entire Bhumandala. So Dhruva Maharaj was the king of entire Bhumandala. And he ruled for 36,000 years. Now when he finished ruling here in this planet, what is it next? What did he get next? Whole planet of Dhruvaloka. Let's hear the Dhruvaloka is described in the 5th canto, chapter 23, text number 1. Because now we will hear, this is further down, Sukadeva Goswami gives a description of the planet of Dhruva Maharaj. Sukadeva Goswami continue, my dear king, this is referring to Parikshit Maharaj, 1,300,000 yojana above the planet of 7 sages is the place that learned scholar describe as the abode of Vishnu. There, the son of Maharaj Uttanapad, the great devotee Maharaj Dhruva, still resides as the life and source of all living entity who live until the end of creation. Agni, Indra, Prajapati, Kashyapa and Dharma all assemble there to offer him a honor and respectful obeisances. They circumambulate him with their right side towards him. I have already described the glories of activities of Maharaj Dhruva in 4th canto. So in other words, see that the opulence of, so he gets the planet that will last to the end of the creation of the material world. And in fact, it says it's eternal. Actually, it doesn't get destroyed. So he's now, this is the opulence of Dhruva Maharaj. And his almost all the planet they go around in the what do you call it? What's the word? The planet go around, orbit, is it orbit? Yeah, planetary orbits, yeah? They all go around Dhruva planet. And in fact also the Lord Śrīmad Vishnu, who's the Paramatma in all living entities, he also resides there in Kshirsagara in the same planet as Dhruva Maharaj. Such was the Dhruva Maharaj, and he's still living, and he's living there and ruling. Such as the opulence. And Prabhupada said that opulence is direct benediction of Lakshmi Devi. Why? Again, Dhruva Maharaj is engaged in the Lord's service. He's not engaging that opulence in the in his own personal enjoyment. Now, further down in the purport, Prabhupada's quotes Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, where Krishna says, the benefits or the benediction offered by demigods are temporary. Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita in 7.23 says these are temporary. Prabhupada's quote says, the material opulence a person obtained by offering prayers to the goddess of Durga are temporary, as described in Bhagavad Gita 7.23. Antavat tu phalam tesam tad bhavati alpa medasa. The benefits received from the gods or demigods are antavat. It has end. Anta means that destroys or finishes. It's, in other words, temporary. Correct? Lord Krishna is saying that. Antavat tu phalam tesam tad bhavati alpa medasa. Devan deva yato yanti mad bhakti yanti mamakam. Said, if you worship demigod, where do you go? Krishna says, you go to the planet of demigods. Yes, if you worship demigod, where do you go? Krishna? Planet of demigod, yes. And if you worship Lord Krishna, where do you go? Planet of Lord Krishna, where is that? Goloka Vrindavan, wow. What about Vaikuntha? Yes, Vaikuntha also is a spiritual world, yes. You can go to Vaikuntha, you can go to Goloka, you can go to Mathura, Dwarka, they are all a spiritual planet. So if you worship Lord Krishna, you go to his world, his abode. And Lord Krishna says, if you worship demigod, you go to the planet of demigod. Where is the planet of demigod? Yes, upper planet, the Swarga, the heavenly planet, where the opulence of heavenly planet is very great. I was just hearing a lecture by Lal Govinda Prabhu, who was just describing the heavenly planet. He said, every wall in the heavenly planet is made of gold. And how big the residence each. He described, I think it was 10 crore, the size of the area of 10 crore miles or kilometer. They have walls that's just made of purely gold. Such is the opulence. And he was describing, he says, that there, if you go there, you don't have to cook. I was just making a joke for the ladies and said, ladies don't have to cook. Because there they have as you wish. If you want a pizza, just wish and think, and there's pizza there. And he was saying, if you want a pasta, you just wish, and it's ready. And then they said, what do the ladies do there? And they don't have to cook, they don't have to clean, because their body is it does not smell. It's fragrant, always clean. There's no dust, and there's no dirt. So what do they do all day? That's what he's saying, Generally, ladies, we engage in either cooking, cleaning, household stuff. And there, everything is desire and it happens. Everything is there. Yeah? You don't get old. The life, the maximum youth you can get is like 16, and then remain there, remain in that life for entire period of your time in heavenly planet. So you're 16 years old, you don't smell, you don't have to cook. What do you do all day? It says, sing and dance and and is glorifying. He said they are always engaged in enjoyment. Enjoyment is either singing, swimming, sports. These are the activities that the heavenly planets. However, as Krishna says, Swarga Loka, what is the word? Bhagavad Gita? Chine Punya. Yes, your enjoyment is a banked. As long as you have a punya in your pocket, you can spend there and stay there. And Chine Punya Mrityu Loka Vishanti. Once your bank balance of punya is out, you are down back to A for apple. Yes? B for? B for bat. Yes. Come back and do A for apple, B for bat, C for cat. Chine punya mrityu loka vishanti. So it's temporary. Doesn't matter. So it's not a good deal. That's why Bhagavatam says, let's do the great deal. Let's go for a bigger deal. What's the bigger deal? He said, don't go to heavenly planet because it's temporary. Go to a spiritual world which is permanent. Imagine you go there, you don't have to come back, live there and there's no, you don't have to do A for apple, B for bat. Yeah? Did you learn that way? What's your name? Sorry? Keshav. Yes, Keshav. We have a audience. Keshava, Krishna, and Akshars. Yes. So, did you do A for apple? Yes, you learned ABCD like that. A B C D E F G. Yeah. Did you do that? Yes. So Krishna says, yes, if you can go to heavenly planet, but the enjoyment or that life is there temporary. Yes, you have to come back. And Bhagavatam gives the alternative or option for permanent. Where you don't have to, you will get all the benefits of heavenly planets in the spiritual world. There you will be engaged permanently in the service of the Lord. Yes? In Srila Prabhupada, in the purport further goes to a story of Ravana. Quotes a story of Ravana. Ravana abducted Sita. Why did he abduct Sita? Because he wanted to enjoy her. He wanted to make her his wife. So Prabhupada says, the story of Ravana illustrates this point. Although Ravana tried to abduct goddess of fortune Sita Devi from the custody of Lord Ramachandra, he could not possibly do so. The Sita Devi he forcibly took with him was not original Sita Devi, but expansion of Maya or Durga Devi. In other words, Prabhupada is trying to make a point that whatever material opulence you may have or wanted to obtain, and these are all temporary. Even the Ravana had a opulence. He was living in the where? Sri Lanka? Yes? And the Sri Lanka was made of gold, houses of gold, house and the palaces were made of gold. Imagine, wow. You know how much the gold, how do they is it ounce or what's the measurement of gold they use? Carat, yes. How many carats of pure gold we can find here? 24 carats, right? And I think they sell it in the measurement of tola, which is 10 gram, right? How much is the gold of 10 gram or ounce? Yeah, 10 gram, how much? Yeah, how much is it? 30,000 rupees or dollar. Yeah, expensive for this much, very expensive. Huh? Yes. So, the entire palace is made of gold. Wow, that's opulent. Yes? Then you have all the walls and everything is just made of gold, diamonds or the gems. My wife had one of those sapphire gems, and then I think it was in a ring. It had a crack, so we went and said, okay, let's go and check it out if we can replace it. It was just a little tiny, Then we went to a jeweler and said, well, how much is to replace this tiny gem, this sapphire? And he says, 2,500 Australian dollar. I said, it was tiny. It was just, like you can just fit in it, like just there. And I said, $2,500. And then I asked him, where does it come from? I said, oh, it's very precious stone. It comes from earth. And I said, and it was just tiny like this, and $2,500. And I said, oh, thank you, Prabhu. thank you. I was like, in Ravana's palace, they were about this size. They were everywhere. They were actually illuminating the, you just shine this little light, and then they can generate the palace was lit by these diamonds and gems and jewels. That was the opulence of Ravana's palace. What happened? He got more and greedy and he wanted to enjoy even Mother Sita, and he abducted her. But by Krishna's arrangement, by Lord Ramachandra's arrangement, that Sita he's taken is Prabhupada saying it's illusory Sita, which he stayed in Sri Lanka when the original Sita was taken by kept in the guard of Agnidev. See, Agnidev kept the real Sita, and then the illusory Sita was taken by Ravana. So even though she was illusory, still, what happened to Ravana? Yeah, gone. Yeah, got killed. By who? Lord Ramachandra. Yes. If the opulence or the whatever the assets you have, if it's not used in the Lord, or if you misuse it, what happens? Ultimately, it will be destroyed, it will be taken away. Prabhupada says, as a result, instead of winning favor of the real goddess of fortune, Ravana and his whole family were vanquished by power of Durga Devi. And Prabhupada quotes a verse from Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, text 44. Srishti sthiti pralaya sadhana sakti reka. Do you know that verse? Say. You forgot. Okay. Who knows? Okay. Srishti sthiti pralaya sadhana sakti reka chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibharti durga Ichhanurupam api yasya cha teshtate sa govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. In this verse, Lord Brahma is outlining the duties of Durga Devi. What does she do? Srishti. She helps, or she helps in the process of srishti, a creation. Sthiti, the maintenance of the living entities in this material world. Srishti, sthiti, in pralaya. She also takes part in pralaya or destruction. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shaktir Eka. The only, she's the most powerful personality. She's in charge of this material world, in other words. She is the only one. Of course, the Lord Shiva and everybody, but she is in charge of this material world. And how does she do this? Chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibharti Durga. Chaya, what's chaya? Chaya, you know chaya means? You know Hindi? Shadow. So Durga conducts, or Mother Durga is doing the service, is taking a part, she's in charge of Srishti, creation, maintenance and destruction. But how does she do that? As a shadow of Govinda. She follows the direction. You know the shadow is look like? So shadow, whatever you walk, it follows you. Whatever you do, it does. Yes? If I put my hand, fist, and it looks like a fist. If I open my hand, it's going to open my hand. If I walk, it walks with me. Similarly, Lord Brahma says, Durga Devi conducts under the Govinda's guidance, or the Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu, as a shadow. However, she is in charge of the Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. Ichhanurupa, she works according to the will of the Lord. So her duty in this material world is I call it a thankless task. Mother Durga does the thankless task. What does she do? She has to keep all the living entity from the bad living entity, or the living entity who do not serve Krishna. She is keeping them here. That's Durga. So how does she conduct? Ichha Anurupa of Govinda. She conducts under the direction of Govinda, and she does all these tasks. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I found a very beautiful, I'll just end with this quote. This is, Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture in Los Angeles in November 27, 1968. He nicely explained this Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Sekha, this explained this sloka. I'll just read it to you. It says, this is the part of the lecture that he gave. He says, it is a Maya's thankless task, Prabhupada says. But the Maya is obedient servant of Krishna. Mama Maya, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. He says, my Maya. So Maya is not degraded. Maya is faithful servant of Krishna. She is faithfully serving. That is stated in Brahma Samhita 5.44. You should read. So many nice books you have. What is Maya? What is Maya doing? That is stated in Brahma Samhita. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shaktir Eka Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga. Durga is Maya. Now, what is the position of Maya? Maya is so strong that Srishti Sthiti Pralaya, she can perform creation, maintenance and dissolution of this whole universe. She is so powerful. The material nature is very powerful. So, Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, Sadhana, Shaktir, Eka. Alone she, Eka, alone, she can do this as good as Krishna or Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, Sadhana, Shaktir, Eka. But she is just like a shadow Chayeva Yasya. Chayeva Yasya. She is working just like a shadow. Just like here is a shadow of my hand. If I shake my hand, the shadow also shakes. The Maya is acting like that. In Bhagavad Gita also, it is said, Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. Under my superintendence, prakriti or nature or Maya is acting. Chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibharti durga. And the next line, ichhanurupa api yasya chatesta. That Maya Devi acting under the direction of the personality. And who is that Supreme Personality? Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. This is Prabhupada's explanation of this verse, Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana. That's how the Prabhupada ends with this purport. Okay, I'll end here. Any questions, comments, corrections? Take a mic, Mataji. Thank you.
Just would like to confirm with you if my understanding is right regarding to the blessings of Lakshmi Devi to Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj in the purport that Prabhupada mentioned. It's the same like the blessings of the Lord? Can we understand that along with the blessings of Krishna, the blessings of Lakshmi Devi is there? It's included, or she can bless independently?
So whatever the spiritual benediction we receive, may it be from the Lord directly or directly from Mother Lakshmi, as I understand, they go hand in hand. They are the same. They're not different. So if the Lord grants a benediction to Prahlad Maharaj, that is actually coming from Lakshmi as well, or sanctioned by Lakshmi. Yeah, she will just act as she said in the verse, that she's in the heart of the Lord, and she's always looking for a benefit of the devotees. If the Lord grants the benefit, and that is sanctioned by Lakshmi Devi herself. So it's no difference whether, as I understand your question correctly, that saying that if the benediction was, in the case of Dhruva Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj, the benediction was received from the Lord, right? Where the Lakshmi Devi in the picture. But Lakshmi Devi always serves the Lord, and anything that Lord's given, that's obviously approved by Lakshmi Devi. That's my understanding. In this case, so they're not benediction from Durga Devi or elsewhere. So in the picture, if you look, if any benediction that's given, even the benediction, if you utilize, even you receive from the demigods, if it's being utilized in the service of the Lord, it falls into a different category. If the opulences or any benediction that's been received from the demigods, if it's used in the personal aspirations or benefit, then that comes into a different category. Yeah. So all the benefit that are received by, like for example, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, even Ambarish Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, they are directly sanctioned by Lakshmi Devi, and they will come under the category of, okay, that is in the spiritual benedictions. They will use the opulences in the service of the Lord. So therefore, that opulence, that benediction or that opulence you have received is the direct sanction of Lakshmi Devi. If that opulence is used for like for example, Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, or anybody else, it's in a different category, or in the category of received from Durga Devi. and that's illusory or temporary. Yeah.
At the same time, trying to understand the motivation of the devotee or who is asking the prayers, because we see, for example, the gopis when they are addressing to Katyayani, for example. It's Durga in one sense.
Correct.
Yeah. And the mood, the way how they approach, and what is their intention in their prayers. I was also trying to understand how Lakshmi, in the form of Durga or Devi, she is also granting blessings. And in one way, apparently, as independently from Vishnu, but that is more related to who is approaching to her.
Yes.
And with what is the motive.
It is the intention, what is important. Like, yes, as you mentioned, the gopis, they were worshipping Katyayani, and another was in the form of Durga. But what is the intention behind? It is to gain Krishna, and that is not wrong. If you go to Lord Shiva or any demigods for that matter, and say, "My dear devotees, my dear Lord, please give me ability or give me something to utilize that blessings in the service of the Lord," and that is okay. That is, yeah. So, if you receive a benediction or in the form of material opulence, if you use it in the Krishna service, that is okay. That is what Prahlad Maharaj did, that's what Dhruva Maharaj did, that's what Yudhishthira Maharaj did, this is what Ambarish Maharaj did. So, yes. Yeah, the intention is what's needed. The entire devotional service is what you, or devotional service equals what is your intention, what is your emotion, what is your offering to Krishna. End of the day, all the opulences and everything for Krishna is zero. He's the owner. What is there? What is he? What are we offering? Are we offering our emotion, our mind, our that is what Krishna is looking for. Yeah. Yeah. Any other? Yes, bro. You wanna?
Delegated all those three, upper, lower, and heavenly planets.
Mm-hmm.
His father.
Mm-hmm.
So after he became a king, did he give back that Sargaloka to Indra, or he continued?
So I'll just repeat the question for online listeners. The question is, when Prahlad Maharaj became a king after the Hiranyakashipu was ruling whole three planetary system. Did Prahlad Maharaj give that the kingdom back to Indra? I haven't had a reference, but my understanding would be yes, because he's a devotee to start with, and he knows what is the system of the Lord. Lord has made Indra the king of heaven. Lord had made the king, the Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, and all these demigods in their position. They are given that responsibility. And why would Prahlad Maharaj take that responsibility from the Lord, knowing the fact that this is given by these positions are given by personality God? My explanation would be yes, he would have returned it, and he would have only ruled where he was supposed to rule, as maybe Bhumandala, I'm guessing, and yeah. But yeah, as a devotee, he would have given yes, because these the kingdom of heavenly planets and other planets were forcibly taken because he was so powerful. He was force used, and he was a powerful. He won. I mean, then he taken over. But Prahlad Maharaj's case, that's not what we find, that he's maintained or kept that those, no. He would have used or become a king the way he was supposed to be. And then they all managed, yeah.
We have to wait for grandson, Bali Maharaj.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, Mataji.
That can be confirmed why Bali Maharaj was trying to also conquer the heavenly planet, because it wasn't under the...
Correct, yes, yeah, and that confirms, yes, you're right, yeah. So, if we hear historically, as per Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, that when Prahlad Maharaj's son is Virochana, Virochana's son is Bali Maharaj, when Bali Maharaj became a king, so, that whole long story short, the Bali Maharaj took over, he took over again. So that means that Prahlad Maharaj must have given the reign back to the respective demigods, including Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu and everything. Yeah, they had their, yes. So if you look at it historically, yes, Bali Maharaj does again goes and claims that having planets, but yeah. So that thank you. Yeah, that confirms that my point, saying yes, Prahlad Maharaj must have given back the kingdom. Yes, Mataji, do you wanna take the mic?
It's because Hiranyakashipu unlawfully took possession of the heavens, and Indra is the king of heaven, so that should belong to them. So if it was unlawfully taken, then Prahlad Maharaj would give it back. Correct,
yes, yeah, that's the point I was making, the same thing, yeah. Yeah. Okay, any other points? Krishna, any questions? No? Good. All right, we'll end here. Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Mata Lakshmi Devi ki jai, Shri Radha Vallabh ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai ki jai, Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.